Let me ask you a question. Do you really need a real estate agent to help you find your investment properties? That's a good question, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 things that are valuable when you use a real estate agent. Now, I think we all know that buying investment properties is a great way to build wealth, get cash flow, and increase your net worth exponentially. Now, the only way that this works is in massive volume, and you got to take a team, right? There's no such thing as being successful by doing it by yourself. As a matter of fact, I don't think that I've ever met someone who's very successful, very wealthy, and has a lot of time that says they did it all on their own. The matter of fact is that using a realtor can be a great, valuable tool. However, I will say that there's some things that you need to make sure that you ask the right questions to a real estate agent to make sure that they are the right person for your team. And I'm gonna go over these top 5 tips because you wanna make sure that you understand, are they the right fit for you? As an example, if you are looking to do a buy and hold property and this agent only works with flip properties, that may not be the right fit. If you are doing a high-end property and they only work in low-end properties or vice versa, that may not be a fit as well. So now let's go into the top 5 questions that you should be asking a realtor before you do any work, and make sure you stick around for the 5th one because this is the most important one you need to think about. Number 1. What is the average price property that they work with in the area? Now, I talked about this earlier. You want to make sure that they are an expert in the price point range that you're looking at. This is so vital. Don't just hire someone because they are a friend of a friend, they're a relative, they need the money. Those are not reasons to add or subtract someone from your team. You want to make sure that the only people you add to your team are experts based on the expertise of what you are looking for. And again, this is part of asking the questions, and it's very simply, what price range do you operate in? Number 2, how much will the property rent for when I purchase it? Now, this is a very important question to ask an agent because you want to make sure they can do what's called pulling rent comps. These are rental comparables, and this is understanding what the property will rent for in that area. This is going to predicate whether or not you will or will not make a monthly cash flow, which is the difference of what your property rents for to what your mortgage, taxes, and insurance are, which is called debt servicing, and the difference is your cash flow. So if you look up some generic numbers and you think your property will rent for $2,000 a month, and the agent says, no, it's only $1,500 a month, that can be a very grave mistake. So the next question you want to ask them is what will the property rent for in this area? Now let's talk about number 3. How long will the property be vacant for before it gets rented? Now, this is a very important question because every day that your property is vacant, it's not making you any money. So you always have to remember is how many days is it going to be vacant? If you financially plan for 3 days, but the reality is that the market says that it's 30 days or 60 days, you need to make sure that you put money aside as a contingency for the days that it's going to be vacant. So again, this is important when you're buying a property that the agent, this is a question you want to make sure they know the answer to because this is how much money you want to set aside as to whether or not you should or shouldn't buy the property, because you lose a month of cash flow, that could actually equal a whole year of what you would make on that property. So you always want to make sure that you factor that in before you buy the property, and that's something that you should be asking the agent, and they should have this information. Number 4, how long will the tenants normally stay? So average tenants will stay for a certain time frame depending on the area. Meaning if you're in a college town, they may only stay during the college semester, which is 8 months. That, again, it's not good, it's not bad, but you want to make sure that you understand what that number is. You may be in another area that's a senior citizen and maybe they get there when they retire and they stay there for 5 or 10 years. Again, you always want to know this, and the reason is your turnover costs. Every time that your property is vacant, you're going to have to do what's called a make ready. So you're going to have to get the property painted, carpet, cleaning, all these things are going to have to happen. That is going to come out of your profit margins. So you want to understand the market that you're in. What is the average tenancy? How long are they staying? And the real estate agent should know these answers because, again, this will affect your long term. You may not know that agent down the road, but the data will be there, and that's how you want to make sure that you're forecasting the right numbers for your rental property. And the last and the 5th one, let's talk about right now. What is the resale capability of this property? Meaning, if for some reason I need to sell this property or want to sell this property, this is what's called your exit strategy. What should I be expecting to get for it, and how long will it take to sell it? So they may say, hey, you bought it for $300,000 and you could probably turn around and sell this for $400,000 in the next 30 days, 90 days, 1 year, 2 year. Whatever the number is not right or wrong, but you wanna make sure that you understand that. You may be wanting to do what's called a 1031 tax deferred exchange, where you are going to basically defer the taxes by selling the property, taking the profit, and rolling that into another property. That is a good financial strategy, but you wanna make sure you understand that. And when you buy the property, you always think of the exit. So the exit is one of the biggest things that most investors miss when it comes to buying properties, and that is the most important. So always find out what is the exit strategy. I talk about exit strategies in some of my other videos, so you definitely wanna check those out. And again, those are the 5 things you always wanna think about, and let's just recap what those are. Number 1, what is the average purchase price? Number 2, what will the property rent for? Number 3, how long will it be vacant? Number 4, how long will the tenant stay? And number 5, if I have to sell it, and that's in my exit strategy, how much can I sell it for and how long will it take to sell it? So those are the 5 things you always wanna ask an agent when you're looking at a property. I hope this helps. This is Steve Rozenberg. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. And if this is relatable to you, leave me a comment. I'd like to hear from you.